Well, we're underneath the hood of a 138 code 68 Chevelle SS396, a real 138 code super sport car. And this engine is a very, very special engine that was offered in this car. Kind of one of the holy grails of 396 engines. It is a L78, which is a 375 horse rated in this vehicle, 396. It came with a set of rectangular port heads, a big aluminum rectangular port snowflake winner's intake manifold, a 780 Holley carburetor in it, a real good solid lifter cam in it, not a hydraulic, a solid lifter cam. These engines had forged pistons, forged steel rod, 4-bolt block. Everything in this thing was high end. It was made to perform. It was a high RPM engine. The same engine was released originally in 1965 in a Corvette, and at that point was rated, exact same motor, was rated at 425 horsepower in a Corvette. For insurance reasons, they chose to rate it at 375 in this. Pretty top performer in this car. Fantastic, fantastic holy grail of 396 engines for a Chevrolet. And it is an EG code correct engine for this car. Power steering on it? Nope, none. Does not have power steering. It has power brakes, discs in the front. They left the steering off just to save horsepower. Everything on this car was about horsepower. It has the correct valve pan covers that came on the vehicle. It has a correct style air cleaner, a correct style 780 Holley carburetor with the correct fuel line assemblies too that go to it. The correct style hoses for the heat for the passenger compartment of the vehicle are still intact and operational on it. It has the correct clutch fan that belongs on this vehicle, the correct high flow radiator, fan shroud is also correct, the correct style looking battery for the vehicle. Fender wells are semi-flat black, just the way they should be from the factory. You can see there's a new power brake booster, also a new dual-stage master cylinder on this vehicle. This engine is a complete restoration from beginning to end, top to bottom, on a solid body. The floor pans appear all to be original on the car yet. Tin appears to be all original. It's a very nice, solid representation of a Chevelle. But this engine compartment is as nice as you will ever find and as original as you will find. No one added any additional type of spark systems on it. It still has a standard distributor and coil in it. Everything is correct on this. Deep groove pulleys just the way it should be. I don't see anything that is out of line on this vehicle from an originality standpoint. Radiator core support doesn't appear to have ever been disrupted in any way. Geez, I can't think of anything. Everything on this vehicle is just as nice as can be. The original equipment horn, sound deadener underneath the hood, flat black under the hood the way it's supposed to be. Fantastic, fantastic engine compartment. As correct a 396, 375 EG motor that you will ever find in a vehicle. Nice engine compartment. Hi, you're at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, Florida, and today we have a really special vehicle to present to you. Very rare piece in this configuration. This is a 68 Chevelle 138 code, real super sport, one of very, very few made with an L78, which is a 375 horse solid lifter 396 engine. This car is done to the absolute nth degree, and we're going to go over it and show you how nice this car actually is. The paint on this car is not driver quality. This is absolutely show quality paint. The fit and the finish on this car is second to none. There's an 1/8 of an inch gap that just transitions the entirety of the hood. Both sides of it across the front. Just as nice as could possibly ever fit. There's no deviation, no nothing on it. There are no dents, no waves, no curvatures of any type that are evident in the surface of this vehicle. It's just as nice a one as you could ever hope to find. The stripe is correct for the year of the car, and the paint also is correct. Fathom green color. Fantastic, fantastic combination. The anodized aluminum around the headlight bezels, just as fresh and nice as could possibly be, just the way they were when they were new in 1968. And the grille the same way, anodized aluminum trim around it. No marks, no dinghies. The grille itself, SS396 designation, no marks whatsoever. Even the small portions between the headlights are still undisrupted, just as nice as could possibly be. I don't see anything out of line on this vehicle, absolutely nothing. Front bumper, a little bit closer on that side than it is on this side. I think we might have to put a little spacer to just move this out just a hair to coincide with that one. Other than that, laterally it's as nice as you could ever fit it. This is being really, really picky. Most people wouldn't even notice that, but I'm pointing it out because it is there, something that we will correct. The bumper chrome is just impeccable. There's no dents or marks or bangs on the front bumper whatsoever. It still retains its original style license plate fixture on the front. The amber lenses are just as nice and clear as you would ever possibly want. No chips, no dings, no nothing anywhere. Absolutely as nice a front end of a car as you could ever hope to find. Again, 68 Chevelle, I mean, really good looking car. Great color combination, nice accentuations with the white striping against that dark green background, black along the bottom, all the black accents in the grille and everything make this car really stand out. Let's go on to the driver's side and see what we can find for you. Okay, down the driver's side of our L78 Chevelle. 396 designation on the side marker light. No patina on the chrome whatsoever around it, just as nice as you'd ever want to find. Boy, the paint on this car is just exemplary. Look at this fit of this hood. Look at this. And the fender to the door, the fitment of this car is just outstanding. Just absolutely outstanding. Grill area, absolutely new. Chrome is flawless on the grill area on the hood. Trim around the front window. Absolutely flawless. Correct wiper arms and blades, just the way they would have come in 1968. Tinted windshield in this vehicle. No marks evident that I can see straight down through the windshield on the dashboard. There's no warps or deviations or cracks or anything on the vinyl dashes here. The number plate is just as legible and clean as can possibly be, where the dashboard metal transitions to the base of the windshield as clean as the day this car was ever built. Just as absolute flawless as you could ever hope to find one. Trim around your wing area, which is usually pitted and oxidized a little bit. Absolutely none. Correct style mirror for this year car. Tinted glass on the sides from what I can see also. Put the windows up in this. We're going to try to do these presentations, especially with convertibles and hardtop cars with the windows up, so that we know that the windows actually do fit the way they're meant to. And you can see it does. Chrome on the rear window is absolutely flawless. So are the rubbers, which are all new, nice and resilient and soft. Tinted glass on the side of this also. Somebody opted for tinted glass. Chrome on the door handle, absolutely flawless. Could not be any better. Your trim along the bottom where it goes onto the flat black area and underneath the stripe down the side is nice as can be. Again, the door fitment to the quarter panel, absolutely spot on. No marks or dinghies in the drip rail. The roof is the roof. It definitely has no deviations, no marks, no dinghies, nothing falling on it through the years, and the paint is just absolutely a foot deep everywhere you look on this car. The wipes whiskers are brand spanking new, and where they transition onto the, where the rubber piece goes onto the outside part of the quarter panel and door, tight that I can't even put my fingernail underneath it. Fantastic car on the side. 10. Everywhere, 10. There's no Bondo in this baby anywhere. It's absolutely just the way it was when it left the factory. paint on the car is just exemplary. You could not possibly get a better paint job than what's on this vehicle. This is a very high-end vehicle in every way. Standard 14-inch white letter Firestone tires that would have been original equipment on his car with the correct dog dish hubcaps that go along with it. The wheels are painted the same color as the car, the way it would have been in 1968 had this car been ordered without the hubcaps. This is the way that would have come. Standard wheels. Driver's side of this car and the front of this car is as sweet as you could possibly ever find. I can't imagine it being much nicer than that. Trim around the back window, same way. Tinted glass on the back also. Hatch shelf, no marks, no fading whatsoever. The fitment of the trim on this car even is just exemplary. There's no deviation. I can't get my fingernail between the trim and the body of this car. Fantastic driver's side. Let's look out back and see if there's anything we can show you there. Okay, back end of our little L78 car. Again, look at the deck on this thing. This is totally amazing. Look at the fitment of this. You have to see this through the video. Everything is aligned as it should. That deck could not possibly fit any nicer or more precise than it does. There's absolutely no overhang. The paint on it is a foot deep. It is one of the nicest paint jobs you could ever hope to have on a car, in a great color combination also. Again, flat black through the back, SS396 designation, the way it should be. Rear bumper chrome, just as sweet as you'd ever want to hope to find it. Bumper fitment. Very, very nice, very precise. Backup lights, nice and clear and bright the way they should be. There's absolutely nothing. I don't see any deviation in the bumper. Issues in the chrome where it's been dinged or bumped or marked in any way. This is as nice a vehicle as you could ever find across the back end of it. One more side to go. Everything so far is 100%. Okay, passenger side of our Chevelle 396 car. Again, look. All tin. No Bondo, no filler, no nothing. All tin. Single speaker in the back, option from the factory. Trim around the back window. You can see it just the way it was on the other side. Really finely polished and as sweet and nice as you could possibly ever hope. Quarter panel the same as the other one. Door fitment to the quarter. Why would it be any different than the other one? Just as sweet as you'd ever want to find. Wipes, whiskers the same way. Let's roll these guys up and we'll make sure that they're right too. Absolutely spot on. Just the way it should be. You stand here with a garden hose and not get any water in the car. And look at the finish on this stuff. Again, the wipes, whiskers, you can't even get your fingernail underneath them. Drip rail, same as the other side. No marks, no deviations whatsoever. Chrome on the handle. Brand new like the other side. Trim along the bottom. Everything aligns as it should. Paint on the side of this car is the same as it was everywhere else. It's just absolutely flawless. Again, fender to the door. Fitment is fantastic. Look at this. Just totally amazing. Correct style antenna on the car. That white stripe really looks good. It really accentuates it. Tin in the front the same way. 396 side marker light. Looking down the sides of the driver's side and the passenger side. It's just as laser straight as you could ever hope to find one. And we're back where we started again. This thing is a very, very special car. It's an L78 car. It's a 375 horse, 396. 4 1/4, 396 rated for the Corvette in 65. This car has power brakes. It does not have power steering. It doesn't need it. It's got a set of 14-inch original equipment style Firestone white ovals on it. The paint on the car is just exemplary. It's got tinted glass all around. It's a nice option car. We're going to do an interior show you. The car runs. It runs. And the engine is correct EG motor that would have been standard equipment on this car for a 375 solid lifter motor. We do have paperwork for this guy too, which Devin's going to show you. We have a protective plate, we have the original manual, we have all the paperwork, build sheet, everything for this car. So it's got documentation up to kazoo. You guys want a numbers matching, correct Chevy L78 car? There it is. It's not an inexpensive car. It's also not an average car. This car is more of a show quality car than it is an everyday driver car. It does have a really neat list of options that go with it. It's as correct as you could possibly find one. It's available here at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, Florida. So you got to take a look at this guy. It's a pretty nice car. Okay, we're inside of our 68 Chevelle L78 car. Fantastic condition car. Again, like I said, from the outside, there's no marks whatsoever on the dashboard, the padded dash, as sweet as can possibly be. Could not find a nicer one. Headliner just as tight as a drum. Sun visors, there's no pulls or anything, no stitching coming loose on them, just the way they should be. Day-night mirror on it, and there's no milkiness or fade whatsoever on the glass itself. Shoulder belts in the front of this vehicle, which would have been, I think those were an option in 68 yet. Correct SS style steering wheel, just the way it should be. And guess what? No cracks. None whatsoever. Zero. Hat rack in the back is absolutely as nice and fresh as could possibly be. Your armrest in the back with the ashtrays you have for your cigarettes that no one uses anymore. They're still just like new in the back seat. Seat belts in the back, seat belts in the front. So you got a whole array of seat belts for this vehicle, front and back, and the shoulder belts also. It has center console that goes with it, with a glove box in the console, glove box in the dashboard. The seats themselves, the back seat and front seat match perfectly. Nicely padded. They're not sagging in any way. The vinyl's been redone in them with the correct style deluxe interior that these cars would have been released with. Everything on the dash is just the way it should be. All the knobs are just nice and fresh and clean. Molded armrests in the doors. Also in the back. The window cranks themselves for the wings and the windows and the latches to let you in and out of the vehicle just the way they should be. Nice and chrome and shiny, just like their new AM radio, AM/FM radio actually in this vehicle, and it does work. Devin and I tried it, it did work. You got a quadrant of gauges that all function the way they should. The clock is not working. Speedometer does function, by the way, and all the trim around your gauges and around all your heater controls and radio and everything, just nice bright chrome, just the way it was when it left the factory. Big addition here. Check and see what these things are going for on eBay. How about an original Stewart Warner 8,000 RPM tack? See what that's worth on eBay sometime. Something they haven't made for probably, I don't know, 30 years. Really nice addition to this car. Original Muncie shifter. It's a 4-speed, but the original Muncie shifter that would have been original equipment in this car is also with it. The chrome on the console is just the way it was when it was new. Carpeting isn't faded or deteriorated in any way, and it's the loop carpeting the way these cars would have been with this particular interior option. The interior in this car is the same as the rest of the vehicle. All the rubbers are new. Whenever you look inside the doors, around the windows, everything, this is all new and all nice and fresh and clean and spongy the way it should be. There's not going to be any air leaks for you on it. The disc brake designation on the pedal. There's no wear on the rubber pedals themselves. Chevrolet floor mats from the same era, 1968, front and rear. Try to find a set of those yet. Really nice car. We presented this car like we do all the other ones. Maybe we spent a little bit more time on this because it is a really special car. There are very few of these cars out there, especially in an L78, which is a solid lifter 396. It is the correct EB motor that belongs in this car. Fantastic condition. I went over the entire vehicle, and other than one little tiny bumper adjustment that really is within production standards. I couldn't find a single mark, chip, deviation, scrape, nothing. This car is as straight and nice a car as you'd ever find. Everything functions as it should. Even the dome light works. So it's a vehicle that really you should consider taking a look at here at Hanksters, Daytona Beach, Florida. I just haven't seen one of these for a long time, and I'm really excited to get this in a solid lifter correct 396 with all the paperwork that Devin's going to take some pictures of here and show you. And we have it all. Daytona Beach, Florida, Hanksters. All right, everyone, he wants documentation. 1968 Chevelle L78 car, 375, 396. You want documentation? You got it. Check this out. Copy of the protector plate, the warranty information, copy of the original build sheet for the car, and got a surprise for you at the end here, but the original sales brochure for 1968 Chevelle, and the original pouch that the warranty information is delivered in. And how about this? The original, you have a copy of it over here, the original warranty booklet from General Motors with all the IBM stampings pages still intact in them, with the original protector plate still signed off and everything by the original owner of the vehicle. Original protector plate, and guess what? Original build sheet. I showed you copies of everything at the very beginning, but we have all the original paperwork for this guy, and it is a correct EG 375 396 in it with a 4-speed. Got all the paperwork that you need to trace this baby down to the last degree, even the original owner's phone number. So we're all set to go here at Hanksters, Daytona Beach. What do we have? Turn signal left functioning in the dash, you can see. Turn signal left, turn signal right. We have a tachometer that is functioning. Have a fuel gauge that works. Oil pressure is right up in the middle where it's supposed to be. Temperature is cold. We just fired it up, but it is going to start coming up. Battery is functioning. The voltmeter just the way it should. Clock is not working just the way we would expect it to. Let's see.
Has you covered. If something
about that?
Water,
An AM radio that works. Oh, wait a minute. We got an AM FM radio. AM FM radio that works. Okay, let's see. Wiper blades. Wipers are functioning just as they should. Everything in this baby is working so far, including the radio. Now, horn's working. Super Sport steering wheel. Everything's working just as it should. It's a nice car. Let's go for a ride, see what this guy runs like. Nice smooth running car. We got a good one. Look at this, no hands on the steering wheel, straight down the road. Just the way it should be. Still no hands. Still no hands over, so let's see if it stops straight, no hands. Yep. No problem stopping with no hands. Straight, tight car. Speedometer working just as it should. It's accurate also. How about that? Nice car. pulls just like it should. Nice sound to it. Runs good. Feels good. Straight as an arrow going down the road. Nice running car. Don't see anything to complain about on this guy. We'll go around the outside of it and see what we can show you there. But as far as mechanically, it's nice as can be. It even still has its original Muncie shifter in it. Console, nice car. You're in Daytona underneath a 1968 Chevelle Super Sport, a real 138 car. This thing is as absolute new as you'll ever find one. We'll go over everything, but I can tell you right now, everything is literally new on this car. I can't see anything that hasn't been addressed or refined or replaced from the day it was new. It does have all the originality as far as the floor pans and frame and structural pieces, but any of the other components look like they've been completely refurbished. New lower A-arms on the vehicle, new bushings on the sway bar, new steering rack in the steering box in the car with the new pitman arm and idler arm, both absolutely new. New tie rod ends, new sway bar links, new shocks, new brakes, discs in the front, rotors are new, backing plates are new, calipers are new, all the hardware is new pertaining to them. Upper control arms, your A-arms are new, ball joints top and bottom are also new. There's nothing in this vehicle in the front suspension that hasn't been refurbished to as new condition. Everything is absolutely new bushings in the front also. No leaks whatsoever on the engine. Oil and filter was just changed. There's a little bit of oil drippage there, and there's a little tiny drop here on the filter and here. Clean oil from whenever the oil change was done. But again, you know, not a leak on the engine. There's absolutely nothing on the oil pan. Has a conventional starter. It has the cast iron exhaust manifolds. We're going to call them 2 1/4 inch primary pipes coming off the exhaust manifolds. New brake lines, stainless steel from what I can see. Floor pans are just undisrupted. They're undisturbed in any way. Aluminum upgrade 4-speed tranny. That AG upgrade to the case and the tail shaft, giving it a lot more rigidity, a lot more strength than the standard Muncie case had. But Muncie innards the same as the factory had. The structural support for the transmission is not marked up in any way, no jack marks or anything on it. One little jack mark here on the frame. It's a C-channel frame going the entire length of this vehicle. It is a full perimeter frame vehicle. New fuel line on the passenger side. Parking brake all intact and functional. The underpinnings of the floor pans themselves are just as sweet as you'd ever want to find. There's no jack marks whatsoever on them that I can detect anywhere. Let's see what else we got here. New distribution block for the fuel lines. New, can't see the sun's in my eyes. A new reverse light switch on the transmission itself. New drive shaft, new yoke. New U-joints, top, front and back on this vehicle. Floor pans again are totally undisrupted, just as nice as you'd ever want to find. A really nice, solid vehicle underneath. It's nice to see these things that retain this kind of originality and this kind of structural rigidity yet, where things haven't been compromised in any way. Someone's made an attempt to scrape all the undercoating that would have come on this vehicle off. So you can see some scratch marks, which you'll probably see in the video, but that's them trying to take the undercoating off with a gasket scraper and probably a torch or whatever they use to soften it up to get it off. But the majority of the undercoating is gone from underneath the vehicle, and the floors have been painted, and the framework itself painted satin black, chassis black. We're halfway through this thing. I can't really see anything. Again, you can see there's really no wetness at all on the engine, the transmission, the bell housing area, tail shaft area, the speedometer where it goes into the tranny. The lines, everything new. Again, you can see everything has been completely refurbished on this vehicle. I don't see anything at all that's not as it would have been in 1968 when this car was produced. Let's do the second half and see what we can find there. Okay, our engine quarter pipes transition into two original equipment style under chassis mufflers that you can see are absolutely brand new. They appear to be stainless steel. I can't really tell for sure, but the entire exhaust system appears to be stainless in this vehicle. And it's exactly the same configuration that would have been released by the factory in '68 when this car was produced. And again, you can see very, very high-end drive shaft just installed on the vehicle whenever this restoration was done. It has a Hotchkiss rear suspension in it, you know, which is really high-end. It has the F41 style sway bar that transitions from side to side. It has the reinforced swing arms. It does have Hotchkiss upper control arms, making it a 4-link suspension. And the upper control arms are solid as opposed to the type that General Motors had, you know, just a regular C-channel. They, of course, have new bushings in them, both sides, front and back. 12-bolt Chevy rear posi 373. Nice rear end to have in these vehicles. Drum brakes in the back, fin drums just the way they should have come from the factory. New shocks, original equipment type on the back also. And those are original equipment style shocks in the front too, painted gray. Someone's made a very, very valid attempt to keep this car with as much originality as they possibly could. Of course, the Hotchkiss is definitely an upgrade, so is the tranny, but the majority of this car is represented as it was in 1968. The subframes in the back, your torque boxes, everything is totally undisrupted, no marks whatsoever on them, no deterioration anywhere underneath this vehicle, nothing. There's not even a paint blister anywhere, and never was from what we can see. The frames where they transition up over the rear differential, really, really nice. I mean, there's no, everything is painted satin black the way it should be. Your rear springs are nice and fresh looking yet. The pipes that come out, I'm going to call them 2 1/8, and they come out and transition over the rear differential and go out at an angle just the way they should for a 1968 Chevelle. I'm going to call it it is a replacement gas tank, new straps, new pads, new fuel lines. Everything on this vehicle is either replaced or refurbished to as new condition. Even the filler tube for the gas tank. Everything on this vehicle is that way. The bar that transitions across the rear of the vehicle to tie into your two frame structures is undisrupted. It's not pulled on anywhere from anyone through the years trying to drag it with a chain or a cable or anything. Back bumper, everything aligns as it should. I don't see anything in this vehicle at all that isn't as it was in 1968 when this car was produced. You cannot possibly find one that's any cleaner. Floors in the trunk, you can see, are absolutely undisrupted just the way they were in '68. There it is. You just went over it with me. You can see that the entire understructure of this car is represented as a original 1968 Chevelle. This is a very, very special car. We're going to present it to you whenever we get it down and on the floor. We'll go for a test ride in it, and you'll see how special this vehicle is. It's not just a standard old '68 Chevelle Super Sport, but it is a Super Sport, and it is a Chevelle, and it's available at Hanksters and Daytona. So take a look at this guy.